Welcome back, YouTube. Dave's Crib. I just want to thank you all for tuning in today. And the topic in front of us is how emotional triggers affect our decision making. And this is something that is a topic that has been very dear to my heart since I started my mind discovery or self discovery journey. You know, is it's very very important to realize that you are not in control, and even if you think you are not, especially in this generation, you know, because I'm sure most of us have like made a decision and then later discovered that it was totally rubbish, and you question yourself whether you were thinking at the time, because you probably weren't thinking, you question yourself if you were thinking at the time. And I'm just here to just let you know that you are not thinking, you're not in control, and I'm here to guide you to the part where we call enlightenment. People who are close to me would always recognize this quote: your mind and your body are two different entities. Yes, your mind and your body are two different entities. And even if you believe that, or even if your mind was there from the Genesis, it's not your friend. And I say it's not your friend because every single thing in this world can be used for good and bad, your mind inclusive. And knowing this, you realize that you haven't been in control since. Say, for instance, someone spits on your leg, right? You're walking on the road, you wake up one morning, you're going to get your day started, and someone just spits on your leg, and you're about to react. Before you react, what if you question this person's actions? What if you just clean your legs and just keep on going? What if you just see the person in front of you? What if the person was mad? What if you what if you just simply shift your perspective to make your own self feel better? Because sometimes it's not all about being right or being wrong. It's just all about peace. Honestly, it's just all about peace. And when you realize that that person in front of you who just spat on you is mad, you feel less angry and less reactive. You won't even react. You just keep on moving. That's what I mean by being in control. It sounds like it's far fetched, right? It sounds like, nah, that's not possible. Nobody can be like that. But you're only thinking like that because your mind is in control. Honestly, that's the only reason why. And I'm not saying this because it's going to be easy. It's not. Definitely not. Nothing in this world is easy, right? But on this part, it goes from difficult to slightly difficult, and then it just becomes a part like a norm. It just becomes part of your life. So the first thing you have to realize is that you are not in control. And having that awareness is the first step to every single thing. Realizing that you are not strong is the first step to going to the gym. Realizing that you are not smart is the first step to picking up a book. Realizing that you are not sane is the first step to seeking help. So the same thing goes for this. Realizing that you are not in control is the first step to gaining control. Your mind is very reactive to things, and your mind is not the one that remembers these things. Your emotions are the ones that remembers it. Your emotions remember things your mind forgets. And what is your emotion? Your emotion is energy in motion, right? So I want you guys to pay attention here. If your energy, if your emotion is energy in motion, and you realize that frequency and vibrations are all energies, right? And they communicate. So, won't it be sane to say that things that were passed down from your father, your grandfather, your ancestors, your great grandparents, they were passed down to you, and those are the things that are controlling you at the back of your mind that you don't even realize yet. Those are the things that you you always have a visual of, but like you can't really explain it. I don't know if I'm making sense. You always have a visual of them, but like you never make any sense of them. And if you realize that you're not your this thoughts or these things are not yours, then you simply reject them because these are things that help that assisted us when we were growing up, right? It helped us. They were good when we were growing up. But now we are grown. We need to we need to take control over our lives. We need to see things for what they really are rather than what our mind makes of them. Because if you don't take control, your ego would always kill things. Your ego would kill relationships, your ego would kill your relationships with people, and it would always make things very uncomfortable and like as if there's always tension in the air. Honestly, that's just how it always has been. Your ego is the problem. The the problem is not the person in front of you. The problem is what is inside you, you know. And the person in front of you is not the enemy. The person inside you is the enemy. The inner you is the enemy, you know. And the main reason why I'm using this background today is, I mean, forgive me, I have done this video like 3 times already. I'm always having a problem, maybe sound or something. But anyways, the main reason why I'm using this background today is just to show you nature and how every single thing is in order, right? There's a similarity in every single thing here. There's just one constant, which is flow. Everything is flowing. Everything is in peace. Everything is not reacting. And human beings, as we are meant to be like that as well. You know, despite being smarter, despite being in control, despite being, you know, the bigger one, right? We're meant to be the same. We're meant to flow. We're not meant to resist. Because pain only comes from resistance. When you resist what actually is, you are going against the tides and you will just feel pain. Honestly, you will feel pain. So rather than seeing that person that spat on your leg as a fool, or rather than seeing that person that spat on your leg as the enemy, just see it as okay, this is part of my day. I don't need to have a reaction to this because it's bad and it will put me on a negative frequency and it will attract negative things to my life. Remember, I said frequencies communicate. These are things that were not taught in school. These are things that were not, that you were not aware of. So I'm bringing your cognizance to them now. Frequencies communicate. So keeping yourself on that same bad frequency attracts negative things to your life. So even if the person spits on your leg, see it for what it truly is. Clean your leg. If it's cleanable, clean it and keep on moving. Because that's not you. That's your ego. It's your ego that wants to react. It's your ego that feels threatened. The only reason why you're reacting is because your ego feels threatened. I don't know if I'm making sense. You don't need to always pick fights. You don't need to always have something to say. You don't need to always see it as your reaction. Because the moment you identify with something, you always try your possible best to keep that thing alive when it feels threatened. Just like an argument between Messi and Ronaldo. Because you love one of those guys, you would go beyond, over and beyond to make sure that person admits that the person you love is the greatest. Like, and it doesn't even make sense. Does it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Anyways, I'm just trying to make you guys just see things from what I'm saying, Let me bust your head, right? It's so crazy that despite you agreeing with someone on something, you guys see things totally different because you're different humans. It might be similar, but it's always different. So even if someone is telling you something and it's different from what you believe in, you don't need to react. You don't need to argue. You don't need to make it seem like as if the person who is talking is dumb because he's thinking of it in a certain light that you are not thinking of. So it's just best you listen and then say yours. And if the person is going to react, then let he or she control or take responsibility of his own reaction. You don't need to even, mess yourself up and tap yourself into that frequency. You honestly don't. You're not stupid. You are just not in control. Anyways, I hope this one was insightful. I just try my possible best to keep on, being consistent on here. I'm trying to like post 1 or 2 videos every single day for the next 3 months. Let's see if we can do it. I'm sure we can though. I'm sure we can. I'm sure we can. I just want to, make sure that I'm doing something in my life. You know, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Until I talk to you guys next time. Stay safe.